Yeah, absolutely, Gabby. I mean, we've supported charities for a number of years. We do two at the moment. The Knights Foundation was very much on our radar. We met Nicky through a corporate golf event, actually. We were introduced by a colleague, and we saw, and I think if any of you are going to do any charitable work, you have to see what they do. You have to attend some events and see the difference it made. And for us, we donated over £20,000 last year to the Knights Foundation.
Tell us what they do, the Knights Foundation, then.
Well, I'll let Nicky expand on that. It'd be far, far better than me.
But what did you see? Because I think
what we saw was somebody making a real difference to people's lives, and genuinely a real difference. And the introduction we made to the foundation with Quilter was very much about trying to give them some security. When I talk to Nicky, for instance, if people make gifts, it's fantastic. But it's like new business to you. New business is fantastic, we all want it. But what gives you security, what gives you long-term value, is your ongoing, your trail, if I put it in our parlance, really. And what these charities need, they need security. They need to know that there's funding going forward and they can plan and do events and so on. And so from our point of view, introducing them to the Quilter Foundation was very much to try and achieve that we could give something that would have more long-term meaningful.
And a long-term relationship for your business.
Yeah, absolutely. And no, we don't do it for business purposes, but as a result of Nicky and the patrons that support his charity, we met some very good people and now potential clients and clients. So there is a side to it that is profitable for us, but you can't go into it thinking that's what you're doing.
That wasn't your motivation.
No.
You were clearly impressed by what you saw Nicky was doing. So Nicky, tell us your story and the Knights Foundation story.
Well, my story, Gabby, is this little one when she came into the world. So up to about 10 years ago, I was obviously predominantly at Southampton Football Club. I retired at 33, then I worked in football till about 9 years ago, gave it up. Purely on the fact of becoming a father of a child with special needs. Sophia was born 2 pounds 3 ounces. When she was younger, we didn't know the longevity of what that would be. I think, speaking from a dad, I really struggled to deal with the fact of living with a child with special needs alongside my son. I think us as men, generally we try to fix things financially, or we became obsessive about work and not dealing with the issue. We're not really good talkers. Men don't talk about the fact that I have a child with special needs. When I've spoken to men before, one in particular, he would say he just had 2 children. And when we got into the conversation a bit further, he did say I have a son with autism. So I just generally looked at that, and then I wanted to really focus on the fact of, from diagnosis, when you actually find out you have a special needs child, right the way to being optimistic, to saying, let's focus on your life into independence. Because that's the things that as parents, we want our kids to be happy, supported financially, know they've got jobs. There is a lot more pressure if you have a child with special needs, because self-trust, etc., etc. And that purely was the motivation for me to do the things that we do.
So what do you do?
So what we do, so from diagnosis to independence, as I've said, we generally meet parents that have just found out they have special needs children. And then through their life we give them advice and support, but we try to look at the ability rather than the disability. So you're going to hear me talk about sensory experiences that come up here as one of the things that we do. Sensory experiences are massively important because the foundation is about our family. We automatically think that because we have kids, naturally they're going to get on. But when you have a child with special needs, there can sometimes be a slightly different relationship with your sibling. There might be a bit of jealousy. There might be, oh, why does Soph get everything and he doesn't? A lot of the kids wouldn't have the chance of jumping out of a plane and doing a parachute jump. This one did it at 16. They've never felt what it's like to get in the water and to do water skiing because they wouldn't have been encouraged. They never have that sense of freedom. So when we do the sensory experiences, they get a chance to do a flying lesson. Only, I think in October we did 5 children had, or young persons had, 3 of them were non-verbal and 2 of them were in a hoist. But we got the whole family there and they experienced that. And I think the main thing is just getting the whole family together and giving them the best life they can have. And to this day, through the Quilter Foundation, Paul, we would never have been able to do these sustainable events and to grow them. So to date, we've helped over 176 families experience holidays in our lodge and also these sensory experiences.
It's fantastic work you do, and Sophia, you've not only been involved in terms of the experiences, but also this process. Tell us what it was like for you.
Yeah, very much so. So the thing about disability, and the brutal truth is, it doesn't discriminate whether you're rich or you're poor, whether you've got conditions as it is, it doesn't matter. And so, for me, the main thing that I wanted to say was, the experiences, it lets you, and it lets me, get out of my chair and find what makes me happy as a person, find the passions that I have, irrespective of my disability, because people tend to have the stereotype that disabilities are from birth, and when you're in your chair, that is who you are. I argue very, very strongly against that, because I'm a different person when I'm in my chair and when I'm not, and you've still got to get to know me as a person, because that won't change. And the thing is with the sensory experiences, not many people get to do them, right? So I never had anyone growing up that was like me and that I could look up to and that I was like, oh, I want to be like them. I didn't have that. I've been given this opportunity to be that for other people and to do these experiences, and I laugh a bit because I always say that as a youth ambassador, a lot of the sensory experiences, I'm like a guinea pig in the sense that we'll test it out on me, see if it works, and see if other kids will like it. And that's how it's always been, but that's the way that I love to be. I remember when I was younger, me and Dad have we share a common interest in that we're both a bit of an adrenaline junkie. And I asked Dad when I was younger, because he has a motorbike, I asked him, Dad, what's it like to go on a motorbike? I saw hesitation in his face because I think he realised that I'd never get to experience that. So he was trying to articulate what it felt like in a way that I could imagine it. And you're right, I never did get to experience a motorbike, but I sure damn got to experience things similar to it. I've done two 15,000 feet skydives. I've flown a plane with Dad in the back. He didn't like the weightlessness very much, we've just got to say that, but I loved it. We do things all the time, and you see kids and you work with the families, and they ask you, as a young adult, because I'm now 19 years old, studying a law degree at university, they ask you as a young adult, what's your advice? I've got a kid growing up, could be a girl, could be a boy. They're like, what's your advice to our child? And it's a really interesting one, because I had a lot of questions about when I was younger. I was like, why me? There was a lot of questions that I didn't have answered, and I wanted answered. And now as I'm growing up into a young person, you find the answer to those questions is, you're just who you are. Your disability makes you who you are, and the things that we do as a foundation, a lot of the memories you have as a family with someone who is disabled revolve around being in hospital, or going to appointments, or paying for equipment. There are a lot of experiences like that. And what we want to do as a foundation, and what we strive to do, is give these people memories that they can remember, that are positive, that are fun, that don't revolve around those things. Because often it can become very straining on the relationship with your parents, on the relationship with your siblings, when in actual fact all you want to do is spend time with them and have fun. I hate the word normal because it's used so, relevantly, and people tend to use it, oh, you're normal. But we have this disregard that we're not normal, when in actual fact all we want to do is be like a normal kid and have the normal things and feel the normal experiences. The things that we do as a foundation have enabled that, not only for me, but young people like myself and young people that have those questions, and they're slowly being answered. So thank you very much, and I really appreciate if you could help us urge more children to make more happy memories with their family. Thank you.
Clearly is doing amazing things, and you two are leading the charge on that. So thank you so much for explaining how it all works and how it starts off, the panel, how the charities are nominated, and then the great work they've done. I'm sure many of you in this room are already involved, but please, can you get more involved practically and also by taking out your phone? Sophia, you're going to read out the details.
Yes, I will. And please text QLIVE, so QLIVE, to 70085 to donate £10 today. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's say that again. Some of them are still reaching their phones, Sophia. A little bit slow.
7085 to QLIVE to donate £10.
So text QLIVE to 70085 and donate £10. Thank you very much for being my co-host here on stage and helping with that. Now, can you please give, when you've done your donating, a huge round of applause to Carlos, Paul, Nicky, and the wonderful Sophia. You understand how the process works, also the kinds of community, charity funds that are being helped, and how that money obviously can't come from anywhere else. These